Welcome to the Muscogee County School District. Serving approximately 29,000 students across 56 schools and programs, and supported by nearly 5,500 dedicated professionals, MCSD is committed to excellence in education. Our vision is to be a beacon of educational excellence where all are known, valued, and inspired. Our mission is to inspire and equip all students to achieve unlimited potential. Together, we are building brighter futures for every student, every day. We are the Muscogee County School District.
Great schools start with great teachers. And in the Muscogee County School District, excellence is happening in classrooms every single day. The Muscogee Educational Excellence Foundation is proud to celebrate the educators who go above and beyond to inspire, challenge, and empower their students. Congratulations to our top 10 teachers of the year. Joy Moore, Baker Middle School; Chris Grier, Clubview Elementary School; Kimberly Grant, Diamond Magnet Academy; Mandy Chase, Double Churches Middle School; Melvin Jackson, Jordan Vocational College and Career Academy; Amber Marcus, Lonnie Jackson Academy; Carolyn Bingham, Martin Luther King Junior Elementary School; Amy Holes, Matthews Elementary School; Joshua Bowman, Spencer High School; Katie Marrell, Winton Arts Academy. Congratulations to the Muscogee County School District's top 10 teachers of the year, and thank you for making a difference every day.
During Georgia's School Board Appreciation Month, we proudly thank the Muscogee County School District Board of Education for their leadership, dedication, and commitment to the success of every student.
Good afternoon. Welcome to our regularly scheduled board work session, March the 9th. Gosh, March already, 5 o'clock p.m. Want to thank all of our building leaders who are here with us. And I know that Marianne Richter from the library is here, and Alan sent a replacement. Ms. Price? Thank you so very much. And everyone else, the other 3 or 4 of y'all, welcome. All right, we will turn it over to our superintendent for Board Appreciation Week.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's my privilege and pleasure to recognize this week, along with Governor Brian Kemp, who's issued a proclamation for this week, which is School Board Appreciation Week. And the proclamation reads, whereas the education of Georgia's children is the key to this state's continued prosperity and success, and whereas for Georgia to continue to grow, we must commit to our state's students by providing high academic standards, trained teachers and staff, and adequate resources to all schools. And whereas Georgians serving on school boards have demonstrated a strong commitment to quality public education by securing necessary resources, promoting academic standards, and fostering partnerships within communities. And whereas Georgians elected to boards of education collaborate with school systems, parents, businesses, and community leaders so that students can become educated, productive members of our state and nation, Now, therefore, I, Brian P. Kemp, Governor of the State of Georgia, do hereby proclaim March 8th through 14th, 2026 as School Board Appreciation Week in Georgia. And then he has his signature on this, and I want to add my appreciation for your leadership and commitment to our children and the community at large. In honor of the Appreciation Week, we do have some things. We have a box of cookies that are provided for you, as well as a book that's been provided for each one of you. So please accept our greatest appreciation for all that you do on behalf, again, of our students and our community at large. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for the tokens. We truly appreciate it. And you said cookies. They're really good. So we already know. So we will appreciate some creative camera work so we can sample our cookies and conduct the meeting all at the same time. So thank you so very much. First, we have up our public agenda. And no one has signed up this week, but I would like to take this opportunity to read our rationale for the record. All official meetings of the board shall be open to the press and the public. However, the board may meet in executive session. Speakers' remarks should be directed to the board and shall be limited to 5 minutes. Citizens are encouraged to address items on the board agenda or to initiate presentations of or issues appropriate for school board consideration. If an individual desires to speak, they may contact the superintendent's office to be placed on the agenda. The board meeting or the work session is not the appropriate place to address either criticisms of particular employees or individual parent complaints when such complaints have not been first addressed to the attention of the appropriate administrator for resolution. Citizens are encouraged to follow the normal channels to address individual parent complaints or problems. And we don't have anyone this week. Maybe we'll see them next week. Up is the Education Committee, and there's not an item on there, but
we will have an extended presentation on our March 23rd work session, yes.
Okay.
Following the board training.
Okay. And then next we have our Discipline Committee, Margot Sly.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There are no items submitted for the Discipline Committee.
Thank you, ma'am. Policy Committee, Ms. Nikki Tillery.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll pull it up. Revised Policy EGAA, Workers' Compensation. Based on continual review of board policies, the administration is revising Board Policy EGAA, Workers' Compensation. By adding the word full to the existing policy, this will ensure that the day that is addressed in line item 2 is not included in the count of days in item 3 of the policy. This is to ensure clarity of how the days are counted. Adding the words at the time of injury aligns with Georgia workers' compensation law, further clarifying when the count actually begins. Do you want me to go over the policy or just?
The changes.
So, yeah, I read all that. I read all of that. I just didn't see it where it was in here marked. Oh, okay. So number 3, lost work time for the first full 7 calendar days will not be paid by workers' compensation. Beginning with the 8th full day of absence, workers' compensation will pay 66 2/3% of weekly salary at the time of injury or a maximum as prescribed by law. And that was on number 2, and I think that was it, yeah. Are there any questions? If not, I will move on to item number 2. Revised Policy IFCB, Internet Acceptable Use. Based on continual review of board policies, the administration has revised Board Policy IFBG, Internet Acceptable Use. This policy was originally revised in compliance with SB 351 from the 2024 General Session involving social media. The statute requires that the local policy be submitted to the state by April 1st, 2026. The superintendent's recommendation is approve revised board policy IFBG, Internet Acceptable Use, based on the Protecting Georgia's Children on Social Media Act as dictated by policy BDC, policy adoption. The revised policy has been on the table for 30 days and is ready for the official board action. Do y'all need me to go over that one again? Okay. Do you want me to read just the red part, or do you want me to? For the first, they're taking off "and" at the end?
Not, yeah, I was gonna say, not the wordsmithing, but whatever is different. It doesn't hurt for us to take the time to say it here. They, of course, the employees always get it, and they sign off that they understand it and read it. But if it's wordsmithing, I would skip that part, but they'll highlight it. And if,
Yeah, and that's what I was.
did you read that? Did you
And
read
number
that?
9, I can read it right now.
Okay.
Number 5, prohibitions against students accessing social media platforms through the use of computer equipment, communication services, or internet access that is operated, owned, leased, or made available to students by the school district. Students shall be permitted to access social media platforms only, A, as directed by the school personnel, B, for the exclusive purpose of accessing and utilizing age app-appropriate educational resources, or C, under the supervision of such school personnel, and D, during the course of a school-related activity. 6 and 7 and 8 are just changing the beginning of the statement. And number 9, it says provisions in the Code of Conduct providing punishment for student violating this policy. Sorry, my eyes are not working. That's why I keep moving back and forth.
You being your own,
I
you're,
know.
you're doing your own focusing.
I'm doing my, yes.
I will say, I think where it looks like it says age-app/appropriate, I think that second slash should not be in there, and that should just be age appropriate. Because that does make it look like it's dealing with apps or something. So if we can make sure that gets changed.
Yeah, I thought it said age app appropriate. Yeah. But then again, I can zoom in there. Are there any questions? Okay, if not, I will turn it back to you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we see that St. Elmo is here, but we thought somebody was ill tonight, so I see that you pushed through and you're here to present anyway, so please come on up and join us, and we'll go ahead and have our presentation on a gifted update.
Let's try that. Good evening. All right. So thanks for having me here tonight. Good evening, board. And happy week, by the way. We do appreciate everything you do. And I'm here to provide tonight the gifted department update for the school year. I'm Dr. Jennifer Rowe, St. Elmo, Director of Gifted Education. So this is also another special month because March is Gifted Child Month. And did you know that Muscogee County has over 300 gifted teachers and 2,661 identified gifted students currently? That's pretty awesome. In fact, if you are a gifted child, or you have a gifted child, or you've taught a gifted child, or a gifted child has influenced in you some way, will you raise your hand for me? Awesome. That's a lot of people. All right, wonderful. So one of the things that I like to celebrate is that and showcase is that gifted children make an impact in our school district and every day. So currently, St. Elmo, it's part of Gifted Child Month. We are trying to focus on community service. I know that was one of the things that our teacher of the year for the state of Georgia wanted us to do a service day, the community service day on March 18th. So we decided to adopt that for the month. Previously in the school year, we did something with Hope Harbor in the fall as part of a PBL unit on homelessness, and students created love packs and gathered donations for Hope Harbor. This month, we are in honor of Gifted Child Month. We are doing a food drive for Feeding the Valley and giving back to our community through that food drive. How are our gifted students making our mark throughout the school district? Well, the St. Elmo robotics team placed 9th in the state competition at Georgia Tech in February. Last year, the St. Elmo team, OM team, placed 7th in the world. There's currently a gifted student that's a young authors winner that's heading to nationals. And another gifted student who is our spelling bee winner. So they definitely make their mark in the district. Some of the goals for our gifted program is to engage students in evidence-based instructional practices that support personalized learning and differentiation. We want to build relationships with all of our stakeholders to improve communication in order for all students to reach their unlimited potential. And we definitely want to continue to accurately identify gifted students from populations and improve services for our students. So what is the elementary gifted experience like here in Muscogee County? I know a lot of people may not know about that, so we wanted to show you something that this was put together by our very own St. Elmo gifted students with the assistance of some of the staff members.
It's St. Elmo Day. Once a week, we cruise over from our home schools ready to explore, create, and discover the world in new ways.
St. Elmo's Center for the Gifted is in Columbus, Georgia. It is home to more than 900 amazing gifted students.
Gifted means learning in ways that make us think deeper and bigger. It's where I meet people who think like me. Did you know only about 10% of kids are gifted? Here, we don't just memorize facts. We ask why and how and experiment and imagine what's possible. It's different from my regular school, but in the best way.
At St. Elmo, learning goes way beyond textbooks. We dive into STEM, literature, and the arts, discovering new ways to think, build, and solve real-world problems. We build robots, write stories, and take on challenges like Odyssey of the Mind. Last year, our team won regionals, state, and placed 7th in the world.
Gifted learning is all about connection, connecting what we learn to the world around us and to each other. Students from 29 elementary schools in Muscogee County come together here to explore, create, and grow side by side. At St. Elmo, curiosity is celebrated, ideas are respected, teamwork is encouraged, and every voice matters. Every day at St. Elmo is a day in the life of extraordinary. The future doesn't wait, and neither do we. I can't wait to come back next week. Our adventure at St. Elmo is just getting started.
Today is the best day ever. It's St. Elmo.
Just a little sneak peek into what that experience is like for our kiddos. The curriculum at St. Elmo it's taken from a plethora of research-based initiatives to prepare our students for the real world, and we use project-based learning, personalized learning, Odyssey of the Mind is included, as well as STEM and robotics, social-emotional learning, gifted programming standards, and then, of course, there's Georgia Standards of Excellence as well. So other gifted services, secondary. So there are some changes that are coming to our gifted service models for next school year because collaboration is no longer going to be an available service model. Many students in secondary are currently receiving their services through this collab model. And so the plan is for students to receive gifted services through advanced content, resource, IB, AP, and cluster models next school year. In an effort to prepare for next school year and the changes, we have sent approximately 50 secondary teachers through the gifted endorsement process this school year so that we would have more teachers available to serve these students. This school year, we had total of 94 for 2025 school year students qualify for gifted services. And this year was a little bit different because we adjusted our window of referrals timeframe. So we actually had 3 windows. We had a fall 2024 window, we had a spring 5 window, but then we ended up having a May 25 window that, which was our fall window to adjust the time frame. We found it was easier to get all the students tested and to make it more manageable in terms of kindergarten referrals and then serving the students at the semester marks. So in the spring 25 gifted referral window, we had 419 students that were referred, 127 students qualified. And then the fall 2025 window, we had 239 students that were referred and 67 students who were qualified for services. Currently, as I mentioned earlier, we have 2,661 identified gifted students. Last year, we had 2,438 gifted students in Muscogee County, showing a 9% increase in our gifted population. Our gifted students represent approximately 8% of our district's total enrollment, and this is in alignment with the established percentage range for gift identification. Gifted eligibility and best practices. One of the reasons that I feel like we do this well in our school district is because we have some processes and procedures in place. First of all, gifted students have to be assessed in 4 different areas. Georgia is actually one of the toughest states to qualify for gifted services because they are multi-criteria with assessing in mental ability, achievement, creativity, and motivation. We do have reciprocity students, so if a student's already gifted in another public school district in Muscogee, within the state of Georgia, we will honor that, or if they're active military, we will honor that as well. Professional development is something we try to provide to help teachers identify gifted students and characteristics. We also give them a PD on the referral process. We use a variety of state-approved assessments for gifted eligibility as well. And one of the things that we do is we have those screeners in place. We do the COGANT first grade to identify early, and every first grader takes that. And then the PSAT is used in the 8th grade. The online referral process is very unique. We just found out when we went to GCCC that we are one of the only school districts that has an online referral process in the state of Georgia, which has made it much easier to refer students. And communication with administrators often occurs just to encourage referrals. We can't find the kids if people don't refer them. Spring 2026, we currently in this new window have 610 referrals pending, and students in grades 1st through 11th grade are in that referral process currently for testing. And did you know, I told you this fact, Muscogee County is only one of the only districts in Georgia to use online application. And one of our own St. Elmo teachers, we just had the opportunity to attend GAGC, which was in Columbus this year again. Meredith Urquhart presented at the Georgia Association for Gifted Children's Conference in March this year, representing our school district well. Do you guys have any questions for me tonight?
Yes, thank you. My only question is, what do you do for the students who are certified gifted from another state?
Okay, so if they're certified in another state, because there's not reciprocity between the states, we will look and see, first of all, if there's any eligible test scores that they've taken in their state that are on the approved Georgia list, that we can use those scores, and then we will enter them into the testing process if the parent, if that's what they wish, for them to be tested for gifting. But lots of times people assume that, they can just, they're gifted in Alabama, they can be gifted in Georgia. So we have to explain, it doesn't work like that. What test scores do you have? Do you have any eligibility with testing information that we can use? And then usually the parent would want them to be tested within the Georgia guidelines.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Chambers?
Yes, thank you so much. In your presentation, you said that collaboration for next year will not be available. What exactly do you mean when you say collaboration won't be available for next year?
It is no longer a legal gifted service model. It has been up until this time. So now all we have is resource, which is pull out, which St. Elmo does. And we have cluster, which is where you have gifted and non-gifted students in the same classroom being served by a gifted endorsed teacher, but there's class size limits on that. Only 6 to 8 of the students can be gifted in that class. And then we have the other models, I mentioned advanced content, IB. So with CoLab going away, CoLab was quite popular because it was a non-gifted endorsed teacher collaborating with the gifted endorsed teacher, sharing strategies to serve that student. And so we knew that was going to be a potential issue. And so it is no longer legally a service model, nor is it a funded model in the future.
Okay, but the program at St. Elmo won't change? It will
No,
be
'cause it's a
administered the exact same way it has always? The kids will continue to come to St. Elmo for their services?
That's correct, because St. Elmo's a resource pullout model, so it's still a legal service model, so that won't be
Perfect.
affected. Primarily, foresee secondary schools being affected by the CoLab model.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
When you said that about other states, you said that there was an exception for active military.
Yes.
They don't have to.
Yeah, so if students or parents are active military, there's a national military compact where it doesn't matter what the test scores are or what the previous states, if they said they were identified gifted, every state has to honor it, and that is throughout the nation. So if somebody says, oh, this kid's gifted, we'll say, well, is the parent active military? And if it's a yes, we automatically have to accept the scores and put it into our system, into our gifted eligibility report.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
I want to ask a question about, again, the collaborative model and in high school. So I was thinking that we did, but then I thought back to myself that we did mostly collaborative in high school, but then if you have a gifted endorsed teacher, let's say, because they'll probably take advanced classes, AP, so we'll satisfy them with more advanced classes, right? Would those teachers have to be gifted certified?
That's a great question. So high school is actually not as affected as much as middle school for a couple of reasons. High school, they have options like dual enrollment, and so they can be served that way. And any teacher that is certified to teach AP or IB courses, as long as they take the 10-hour gifted course, it counts as being gifted endorsed. They're not actually gifted endorsed, but allows them to serve the student in that capacity. So for example, if an English teacher teaches AP Lit, their AP Lit, if they're not gifted endorsed, the AP Lit class, as long as they have the 10 hours, can be counted as a gifted course. Their other regular English classes cannot. So one of the other things we have done this year is to make sure that all of our high school teachers that have AP and IB have that 10-hour to make sure that they are able to serve all those students in that capacity as well. So between the APs and IBs and the options that high school offers, typically they're okay in terms of gifted service. It's our secondary, it's our middle schools that don't have as many options that we're preparing for.
Okay. Now, let's go to middle school and then maybe elementary school with the collaborative model.
Sure.
Is that rationale to not have that came from the State Department?
Yes, that was from the state.
Is that rationale because they're figuring that these kids are not being served?
That's absolutely correct. So they did a survey, and reports came out in 2023, and they've been working towards it since, that the kids are basically just being served on paper in that model. And they're not happy with that. They want the students to actually have gifted service that's appropriate. And so they started phasing that model out. And this next school year will be the first official year that it is no longer allowed.
Okay, let me ask one more question.
Sure.
So let's say I'm a parent with a gifted kid. Would I have to withdraw my student from the gifted program if, say, some parents may not want their kids to, parents may like the collaborative model. As a special ed teacher, when I was doing LD, I liked it too because I didn't like some of my kids coming out of the classroom. I liked them kind of in the classroom. So will a parent have to withdraw their kids from the special ed, from a gifted program, if they want their kids to not go to St. Elmo and to stay in the classroom?
Well, it wouldn't affect St. Elmo. The collaborative model wouldn't affect St. Elmo at all because we're a resource pull-out. But parents always have the right to make decisions in gifted education for their students, whether they want them to temporarily inactivate services or withdraw for various reasons. They can do that for whatever personal reasons they have, but the CoLab model won't affect St. Elmo.
Temporarily inactivate their student, their kid, if they don't want them to be pulled out for resource.
Oh, I see.
Recess one.
You're talking about an elementary or middle school or any?
Elementary mostly.
Yeah, so we have had parents before for various reasons that maybe the child's going through something personally or that they and they are not having a hard time transitioning into different settings that have asked to have a temporary inactive for a couple of months to allow them to focus on academics at the home school before transitioning back into St. Elmo. That does happen sometimes, but it's not very often. It's pretty rare.
So there's a lot of cooperation then.
Correct. Any further questions?
Thank you so
Okay,
very much.
thank you.
We
Have a great
appreciate
night.
the update. All right, now we'll go to our Personnel Committee. Ms. Vanessa Jackson.
We have one item, which is the personnel report, and there is 4 attachments. Are there any questions? Hearing none, back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so very much. The Property Committee, Ms. Frey, Pat Frey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We'll start with the library report. Couple of interesting things on the library report, as always, from the past month. But I think the coolest one is when a customer came in and came into the service desk at one of the libraries and was trying to communicate and pointed to ears, and then the staff member responded with ASL. So the customer felt at ease and was smiling and was like, oh, they can communicate with me, and removed all the barriers to access. So that, I just thought that was really, really, really cool. Lots of other stuff. If you ever want to uplift, look at the library report every month. It's really cool stuff. A mother had her child take the first steps at the simple steps at the North Library. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I can only imagine what that would feel like. So, next, we'll go on to our museum report, and Marion's not to be outdone by Alan, that's for sure. Lots and lots of cool stuff. Of course, the puzzle of politics that the Honorable Calvin Smyrie and the exhibition featuring him and his 40 years of public service, and the conversation that happened between him and James Blanchard on that night, talking about service and just community, building community, and the Family Festival for Black History Month, where the Spencer and Carver High School art clubs were there, and the Schwab Society was there, and the Liberty Theater and Community Partners, the Alma Thomas Society purchasing some new works of art, and the glass blowing classes that just took place on February 26, 27, and 28, and they'll be back in April, he told me. So there's always something to do in Columbus, Georgia, and for the most part, most of it's free. So lots and lots of good things going on there. Any questions about the library or the museum report?
And that is worth mentioning again, that our public library and museum are free.
Are free.
They are free to the public.
And serve thousands and thousands every month.
Yes.
And ironically, I think they serve more people who are not from here than they do of people who are from here.
Yes.
So let's make sure that those of us who live here take advantage of that. And then we'll move on to the surplus and used vehicles, which is item number 3. The Department of Security seeks approval to declare the list of vehicles, of which there are 2, as surplus to Muscogee County School District. These vehicles have exceeded their useful life, and the cost of maintaining them now outweighs the remaining value. Vehicles will be disposed of via competitive bid process, public or online auction, donation to eligible public entities, or sale to another government agency for an agreed upon fair market price. And there's 2 items listed, 2 vehicles, both of them Ford Fusions, one of them a 2012 and one of them a 2013. So the superintendent recommends that we approve the declaration of these vehicles as surplus for vote next week. Any questions? Seeing none, thank you, and back to you, Madam Chair.
I'd just like to add my thanks and public appreciation for Director Harkness and his staff for hosting the youth art exhibition all last week in the library. It was a great turnout of parents and students. Everyone was very proud of their work, as indeed they should be, but it was a great exhibition, and we thank them for hosting that.
Yeah, the parents really appreciated having that parking, the ease of parking and getting there. So that was good. Ms. Buckner.
The parents at the library also appreciate no fees.
Yeah.
For late, late returns.
No late fees, yeah.
Everybody.
And board members.
Yep, no pressure.
Okay, next is construction, Mr. Mark Cantrell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Moving on to item number 1, the Construction Committee, is the campus enclosure budget. The Department of Construction seeks approval of the campus enclosure project budget, Phase 1 for Baker Middle School, Jordan Vocational College and Career Academy, and River Road Elementary School, developed by the approved construction manager, Grady Construction. The budgetary impact funding for this purchase includes $959,612 and will be expanded from the Capital Projects Fund in the East Plost. Superintendent's recommendation, approve the budget amount for the campus enclosure project budget, Phase 1 for Baker Middle School, Jordan Vocational College and Career Academy, and River Road Elementary School. Any questions, ladies? If not, we'll move on to our next agenda item, H2, the auditorium upgrade budget. The Department of Construction seeks approval of the auditorium upgrade project budget developed for the approval construction manager, Carlisle Construction. The upgrades will take place at Shaw High School, St. Elmo Center for the Gifted, and Winton Arts Academy. The budgetary impact funding for this purchase includes $2,130,851 will be expanded from the Capital Projects Fund, East Plost. The superintendent's recommendation, approve the budget for the auditorium upgrade at Shaw High School, St. Elmo Center for the Gifted, and Winton Arts Academy. Any questions? If not, we'll move to agenda item H3, the sewer line replacement. A portion of the sanitary sewer line in the Fort Middle School kitchen has experienced failure. The Department of Construction seeks approval to issue a purchase request to Peach Engineering to oversee the sanitary sewer line replacement project. The budgetary impact on this project, the funding for this will not to exceed $248,000, will be expanded from the Capital Projects Fund, East Plost.
Has it already been completed? Oh, so it's functioning? Okay. Temporary solution. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The superintendent's recommendation, approve the purchase request to Peach Engineering to oversee the sanitary sewer line replacement project in the Fort Middle School kitchen. Any questions, ladies? If not, move on to our next one. Agenda item H4, Gentian Cafeteria HVAC replacement. The construction department is requesting the board to approve Peach Engineering to design the HVAC equipment replacement in the kitchen of Gentian Elementary School due to partial equipment failure, rendering the system in need of replacement. The impact will be funding for this purchase not to exceed $248,000, will be expanded from the Capital Projects Fund, East Plost. The superintendent's recommendation, approve Peach Engineering to design the HVAC equipment replacement in the kitchen of Gentian Elementary School. Any questions on it? Yes, ma'am. Kia?
I just have a question about the $248,000. That is for the HVAC that only serves the kitchen?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. That would be the HVAC system that serves the entire kitchen.
Okay. And yeah, that's a little pricey. So that includes when it says construction budget, the architect and the owner contingency.
Yes, ma'am, that is the design professional, the engineer that we hired to design the replacement, the construction of it, the materials, and the contingency that we have in case the problem arises.
And that's about normal, what we pay for? I know the HVAC units that we put on the roof are pretty pricey. Mm-hmm. Is the kitchen the same type? I'm just imagining a different type of HVAC in the kitchen?
I'm going to defer to Mr. Odom on that one,
Okay.
because he's a little more of an expert in the HVAC territory.
Okay, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Good evening. Yes, we have multiple rooftop units. There are a few wall hung, and we have some fresh air units on top of the roof that have to be replaced in the
Okay.
kitchen.
Is this one of them?
Yes.
Okay, so it is sort of a rooftop type,
Yes.
okay, I know those are expensive. Okay, thank you for answering. the
Is there a temporary solution going there?
Yes, we currently have a temporary.
Because we gotta have our AC in the
Yeah,
kitchen.
we currently have a temporary
Okay.
solution in place until.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Superintendent's recommendation, approve Peach Engineering to design the HVAC equipment replacement in the kitchen at Gentian Elementary School. Agenda item H5, Blackman Road Roofing Project. The Department of Construction seeks approval to issue a purchase request to HFH Pishon, SN Nelson and Associations LLC through the Gordian Sourcewell EZIQC National Corporation contract for roofing at Blackman Road. Well, that's a lot of stuff there. At Blackman Road Middle School. The impact will be $1,771,031. Will be expanded from the Capital Project Fund East Plus. Any questions on this, ladies? Superintendent's recommendation, approve the purchase request for roofing the project at Blackman Road Middle School. We want to thank all of our East Plus and the citizens of Columbus for allowing us to do all this work right here at our schools. I mean, it keeps them up to date. I've seen them, and they are in better shape today than I believe they've probably been in 60 years, all of our schools, and that's wonderful. Agenda H, item H6, construction status report. The construction report is attached. Mr. Ward Odom will present a slideshow covering ongoing projects. Ward?
Good evening. So our bi-monthly slideshow for March, we're going to go through here. I want to start, with Connect Stadium Upgrade Project. Of course, this is a view that we have as it was with the track and the field being complete. And then, of course, we got the home and the visitor side. Visitor side is on the left side of the screen. This is where and I'm going to flip them on you here. So this is on the visitor side is now on the right-hand side of the screen. And as you can see, the demolition of the old has taken place. We've got a mud seal in place in the concrete bleachers are underway, going back up. And on the left-hand side, we have a mud seal that's put in place. I'll show you in just a second. That was the demolition of the visitor side. This is where we currently reside. So where you see the kind of the plastic, that's where the steps are going back in, the actual bleachers, and of course the mud seal on the back side. You can see the building in the background. That's the new concession building on the visitor side. This is the home side of the project. That was the demolition picture. This is where we're at currently right now with the mud seal in place. Wow. And of course they'll be putting the bleachers in place here shortly. We had the Rothschild Gym Upgrade Project. This was a demolition ceremony we had a couple of weeks ago. There was a couple of people there ready to jump on the excavator, knock it down. And of course, there was the student athletes that we had in representing. There's the building.
Actually, they were the champions.
They were the champions. And in fact, if you go back to see, they just recently won a championship right out in front here. So
cool.
Absolutely. And that's Miss Cox on the left here, the wife of Chris Cox, the gymnasium. Of course, this is the building as it resides when we had the ceremony, and demolition has begun. So there's where we are right this minute. Probably another couple of weeks, that'll be entirely on the ground and in rubble. Then we have an exciting project coming up that we're getting ready to launch, taking stakeholder engagement, planning and designing the project, and we want to make sure that we invite the public out. This is the double churches upgrade, and we have a community information meeting on Thursday, March 12th, 2026, 6 p.m. in the cafeteria of Double Churches. This is the second one. So we had the first one over on the 3rd, Tuesday, a week ago. Then we have a few additional projects upcoming. We have the auditorium upgrade at Shaw, St. Emma and Winton, which y'all saw the money on this evening. Blackman Road and downtown HVAC, and the Rigdon Road cooling tower upgrade. And as always, we thank the citizens for passing the E-Splosh, for without which none of these projects would be feasible. All right, thank y'all.
Great job.
Thank you, yes.
Any questions, ladies? If not, that'll do for the construction committee. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for the move to finance, Dr. Kia Chambers.
All right. Finance Committee, first item is the budget parameters. The fiscal year 2027 budget parameters are outlined in the attached document, and the superintendent is seeking board direction on defining these budget parameters, and we will hear from our CFO in reference to the parameters.
Good evening. Janice Bloodworth, Chief Financial Officer. I'm going to give you a quick update on where we are with the 2026 budget and then look at the budget parameters for 2027. As you'll look here, here is just a quick snapshot of the...
If we see the...
Yeah, I do like that.
That's our snapshot. There we go. Thank you. We like that other snapshot. Yes, yes.
Going on vacation.
All right. Unfortunately, this is the snapshot of the 2026 budget. You can see I have a column for the adopted budget, and then I have a column for where I project at this point, midway through the year, on where we're going to end up with the 26 budget. You can see that there's going to be little change in revenue, but a slight increase. This is coming from slightly higher property tax revenues than what we had in the original budget, and some additional grant money that was for security in the state funding piece. And then with the expenditures, you can see that just a slight decrease in those, expecting both salaries and benefits and other operations to come in just slightly lower than what we had budgeted. So projecting a $21 million change in fund balance. We began the year at close to $105 million, which would leave us a projected $83 million, almost $84 million of fund balance to start the FY27 year. Looking at the budget parameters that we have, we've separated these out a little bit differently this year. We have the strategic plan priorities, and then we have the fiscal commitment ones. So this is the start of our strategic plan priorities, and we're going to prioritize resource allocations focused on student achievement, instruction, and whole child alignment with prescribed law and the district strategic plan. We're going to be emphasizing funding for early literacy and numeracy improvement, differentiated resources for students and schools based on data-driven needs, reduction of chronic absenteeism, full option graduation, college, career, and workforce readiness, safe and supportive learning environments, recruitment and retention of effective staff, and continuity of core services. So these are the strategic plan priorities that focus mostly on what we're doing in the schools. Then we have the not so fun stuff, or fun stuff, however you want to look at it. We do have, we are not planning to increase the mill levy. We will plan to hold that at the rate that it is now. We again, we'll allocate the 1.5 mills to the Chattahoochee Valley Library System. We will designate $500,000 to capital projects, and these are for our non-ESPLOS projects. They would be things like this building here, the Whitesville Road campus, those sorts of things. And then the last one that we have one of the last ones that we have here is to maintain a minimum unassigned fund balance of 60 days. So that we will try to have that. There was also in the actual, here they are, that the TRS and health insurance are both going up again this year, so we'll be looking to fully fund those increases as well as maintain the step increases within our salary schedules. So there will be those small step increases that are included in that salary schedule. So overall, that is all of our budget parameters for this year, and if there's any questions.
Thank you so much for that presentation. I do have one question, if you could clarify. When you talked about the $21 million that was coming out of fund balance.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about where those funds were allocated?
Well, when we budgeted at the beginning of the year, with the adopted budget, we had budgeted that we were going to use $25 million worth of fund balance. And at this point, we're budgeting $21 million. So a lot of that increase came last year with the salary increases that we gave at the end of last year, pushed that number up a little bit, but there was also just some other operating things that we were doing, providing additional supports for classrooms and that sort of thing that has caused us to project to use fund balance. And health insurance, yes, thank you. That was another big increase, was the health insurance.
Sounds good. Yes, goes up every year.
Yes, it does.
All right, thank you so much. Ms. Buckner, you have a question?
Could you pull that back, that first slide with,
This one?
yeah, that's it. That slide. And you were saying that you were separated it this year.
Yeah, just from the strategic priorities, from the fiscal stability and required commitments. This is kind of the fun stuff. This is what we have to do.
I understand that. Right, this is what we have to do. But I want it clear, because we used to somehow make sure that this is what we do to support the first thing. The main thing, they said the main thing be the main thing, go back to that first slide. This is what we do in education. This is what education is. And in order to do this, we have to do that other stuff.
Yes. Yes, these are the things that.
And our reference hat being, this was the main thing, essentially, and the other stuff were supports. That's how we referenced it before.
Yes, we kind of made the main thing this year.
And I just want, this is the focus right here. This is what we do. That's the only thing.
This one here, yes.
This is what we do. That's all I want to make, this is it. Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you so much for your presentation.
Everyone fine with those parameters? Okay.
Anyone? I think we still have time to sort of let you know if there's an addition or something to the parameters.
Well,
Pretty
what time?
quickly. What time period? Yeah.
As soon as possible.
When do you want us to not, we need to get our thoughts together by when?
Next week.
Next week. So please review the parameters, get your questions answered.
All right, thank you so much. Moving on to number 2 is financial assistance. The Financial Assistance Committee is requesting 2 requests for assistance, a total of $3,000. Any questions? Okay. Ms. Buckner, do you have a question or?
Lights just on.
Lights just on? Okay. Moving on to item number 3, this is purchase exception A and B. The first item is for science class kits, grades K through 5. I'm excited about it. That is attached. The funding for this purchase is totaling $166,505.21, and it will come from instructional function of the general fund. Item number 2. Oh, I'm sorry, you have a question, Madam Chair?
What is similar for grades 6 through 12, secondary? Is there something similar? The science experiments, do we use something similar?
No, they should be using something different.
Good evening, Christine Hull, Executive Director of Curriculum Instruction, Pre-K through 12. That's a great question. We are starting with elementary, and so next year's budget, you should see it coming for secondary as well. We currently have in secondary multiple courses of different iterations of science, so that planning out of what do we do differently for biology, from environmental science, for AP, just strategically marching that out over the next year with our science adoption, which will also be coming next year, so that everything is done in a strategic way that if we adopt a new science resource for secondary, that we also know the manipulatives, the equipment, the lab equipment, all of those things will match together instead of them being separate.
So we currently have some manipulatives.
Yes. Yes.
That, or some of them are computer or web-based, that's for experiments, correct?
Yes, so our secondary science core resource is Discovery Ed, which is predominantly an online resource that has additional pieces. Like at middle school, they have consumables that the students can use, but we have also recognized, and with the change in standards as well, that we need more materials for hands-on manipulatives, for lab equipment, to make sure we upgrade those, to make sure that they are not only upgraded and updated, but that they're safe, that they're inventoried properly, kept in the labs properly, and that teachers also have training on those for professional development. So secondary is coming. We're starting with the elementary now.
Thank you, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Any additional questions, board members? Okay, moving right along. Item number 2 is a supplemental resource pre-K teachers. This is a funding purchase totaling $18,996 coming from the Department of Curriculum and Instruction for pre-K. Hearing no questions, I'll go on to item 3, which is student reading resources. This is, the superintendent is asking the board to approve purchases from this particular vendor for fiscal year 2026. The total amount is $290,000. Funding for this purchase is not to exceed $50,000. Including this item on the current agenda, that is a pending board approval. The total expenditure would be $340,000 with this same vendor, Overdrive Inc., for ebooks and audiobooks. Any questions? Okay, item number 4 is licensing software for the library, and that is attached. And item number 5 is also for the library. This is library collection software, and that is attached. Any questions? Hearing no questions, I'll go on to section 4, which is our purchase exception D. These are all our renewals. The first one is Aruba license renewal. You have a question, Ms. McRae?
Curious what this is, because I can't read any of that, like what that means. So it's more
The
specifically what this is.
MGT Impact Solutions LLC quote. We have someone coming to the front to give an explanation.
Good evening. So that amount represents the renewal of some licensing for our wireless networking gear and some of the wired networking gear. So it's software that helps it to operate and helps us to administer it, make changes, et cetera.
Okay.
I guess, and I know I say this a lot, but if like that had been in the wording right there, then I would have an idea of what that meant. Because I just, I wasn't familiar with the company and I didn't know what Aruba was. So
Except the island. You're thinking about the island.
And I didn't think we were doing anything
Going on
with that,
vacation.
So, yeah, as much as we can.
Tell us your name and title.
Help us
Casey
understand.
Herget, Senior Director for Enterprise Technology.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. All right, any more questions about the license renewal? Okay, item number 2, software maintenance and support. This is for Power School. This is the Department of Enterprise Technology seeking an approval for Power School Group for the renewal of maintenance and support for Business Plus. Hearing no questions, I'll go on to item number 3, emergency vehicle equipment. And that is attached. This is from the Department of Security. Okay, hearing no questions, I'll go on to our 5th section, which is our purchase order increases. There are 6 of them. The first one is for ESS. This is our, what used to be Subfinder, but this is how we fill our vacancies. Including this item, this current agenda item, the total expenditure for ESS will be $5,751,000. $751,220. Any questions? Ms.
I know we were provided some information on this already, so it's already been discussed, but I do hope that we continue to really look at this for the new next budget cycle in ways that we can reduce this amount of money to a third-party vendor. Thank you.
Is this also an item that's going to be, we're going to get some additional information in our extended work session? Okay.
Okay. All right, any additional questions about ESS? Okay, moving right along, item number 2 is Gold Creek LLC. This is a food product, and this is for processed chicken products. Yes, ma'am?
Not to be totally cute, but is it because chicken prices have gone up, or are we just eating more chicken? Because 2 of them, there's 2 different ones that are for chicken products. This one and the next one.
Yeah.
It's just because we are using more chicken from those particular vendors. And so we have to get the purchase order increase so we can buy it from that vendor. It's a better pricing for us.
Okay, well, I'm glad to know the price is not going up.
We're using more and we don't have the deep fryers anymore? How is that happening?
Our oven-baked chicken is
All right.
delicious.
I just want to know if something was different. I can start back figuring out Chicken Day on Thursday. You know,
We still have chicken day. It's just oven fried.
It's just oven fried
Oven
still.
fried.
It's delicious.
Okay, item number 3 is Rich Chicken Inc., more chicken products. And that is, yes. And so they have the amounts, but no attachment, board members. JTM is number 4, commodities products. This is from the Department of School Nutrition as well.
This one is beef, so we're not
Yes.
discriminating.
Beef or chicken. Okay. TWC Inc. Maintenance Service. This is also from the Department of School Nutrition. And the last one is for gas. LLC is for fuel. Purchase of propane fuel for buses. Any questions about the purchase order increases at this time? All right, hearing none, I'm sorry, Ms. Frey.
With the increase in gas prices, do we anticipate the propane will continue to go up?
You see what's happening.
At this point, our vendor has not indicated an increase in propane. We are preparing for an increase in diesel.
And we did top off all our tanks early in the week, as much as we possibly could, so.
I should have
stay
been so
ahead.
smart. Should have been so smart.
All right. Hearing no more questions, I'll move on to purchase exception F, which is the invitation to bid. The first item is facilities maintenance district-wide. This is funding for this purchase not to exceed $275,000. This is for maintenance and operation function, and it's coming from the general fund. Okay. Hearing no questions. Number 2 is playground equipment at selected sites. And it is a not to exceed $790,000. And this is for downtown, Lonnie Jackson, River Road, South Columbus. And Ms. McCray, you have a question?
Yeah, for all of these three under 6, were they bid out? Because there's no information about the bids.
Bid. Yeah, it's on the
Included, at least.
invitation to bid.
And are we working off some kind of rotating list?
So to answer for the playgrounds, is that the question?
Well, all three of them, the soap,
Facility,
the
playground, and the turf cleaning.
They're pre-bid, they're co-ops that we have. So for the first impression initiatives, we've got multiple vendors that do soft washing. Most of them are on a co-op, and so the suds is up, rolling suds is up under a co-op. So we get quotes from them and then, get their services provided at a not to exceed amount.
Okay, so how does that differ, break that down for me from our regular bid process? 'Cause usually in these, we see, who else bid.
Attachment, yeah.
Travis Anderson, Chief Operations Officer. So what he means by co-op is that there's a state bid process. It's already gone through the state bid process, and we are able to tag onto that bid and get the discounts that the state is already authorized for all school districts to use. So it has gone through a bid process. We, by doing that, we save money by not having to do our own bid, and we're able to compare to local vendors as well as our national vendors or state vendors, and so it gives us a much wider variety, but our local vendors can participate as well. But it is going through a bid process. We're just not managing the bid.
But our local vendors are bidding through that too? Even-
Yes.
It can be added.
Our local vendors are participating as well.
Does that hurt smaller vendors locally because they might not want to bid out for something that would be statewide? But
does
they
not.
might want to bid for us?
It does not. So being a part of the cooperative does not necessarily mean that they have to be a full-wide state vendor. And so we are able to, and we have a local representative that helps our local vendors get a part of the state process, even if they only want to work with us.
So really, it's just an opportunity for them to sign up to make themselves eligible to be considered, not that
Yes.
they have to participate in any bids. And so that
Exactly.
way, when the school district looks at these particular items on this co-op, then they can find local
Yes.
vendors.
And the reason that helps us primarily, so let's
And
look
it
at the
helps the
playground
vendor
one.
for, I'm sorry, I mean, because y'all, if they're in Muscogee and they're small, if some surrounding county also pick them up, that helps them.
Yes,
With-
it is
with
very
this-
helpful
This
for
is
our
a big
local vendors.
opportunity for them.
It's a win-win.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, sir?
Any
you're-
additional questions?
No, but it's really helpful for our playgrounds because we don't necessarily have local vendors that produce playground equipment. And the other vendors that Mr. Odom referred to, they are actually our local vendors that we have helped get on the process to make it easier for them, and so they have more access.
Let me ask you something about the process. When it first started out, they did not have any kind of membership fee or anything like that. Is that still the case?
2%
2% of whatever, when they get a
of the
job?
contract value.
Oh, that's not bad. Not just, they don't have to pay 2% when they're not bidding or receiving any work.
No,
Just
They don't
it's not
whenever
a
they get
2%
contract.
membership fee. It's
Okay,
the
that's
contract
good.
value.
That's great.
What would you say is the percentage that we use the state site to bid versus what we're bidding with a local vendor?
I can get that for you.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you now, to making it up.
I was just wondering.
We try as hard as possible to do what's best for the district as well as for our local vendors. And so we try to help them become a part of that process to expand their exposure and access. But I can tell you, we can get that number for you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right, if there are no more questions about those items that fall under invitation to bid, we'll move on to exception G, which is our professional services. There are 2 items under professional services. One is for psychological services, and this is an item, funding for this purchase is not to exceed $25,000. So they're asking for an increase there. To include this item, the total expenditure with this vendor would be $39,500. Any question about the psychological services? Okay, the next one is This Works Counseling Services. This is, funding for this purchase is not to exceed $185,000. This will be expanded or expended from the pupil support function of the general fund. And this will be, the new expenditure will include a total of $1,168,465. Okay. Ms. McRae?
I know I ask about this one a lot because we seem to have the works on here a lot of months of the year. And I know that we frequently have to adjust as the year goes on, but I don't feel like we have as many other vendors that we see with this frequency. So I'd like to kind of better understand that. And then, because it says for services from February till, I guess, May, I can't remember now. And I know we voted on and approved some expenses last month in February. So just would like to better understand why so frequent.
This in particular is because of a grant that we got that we have to spend the money before the end of the year. So that's why it came back up, because this is a different set of services based on a different grant.
Than the one we had last month?
Yes.
So very new grant?
Well, it's not new. It's one that we found out about in September, and we have to have everything spent this fiscal year.
Someone finding these grants? How did we discover the grant?
This one was done by the governor.
Okay.
Specifically for
Sent
counseling?
down to schools for, yes.
For counseling?
Yes.
Okay. So this is something in that mental health range that we haven't had before?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, and so seemed to me that it would differentiate if it's grant money. Is it all grant money?
Maybe we could put it on there, yeah.
I don't have a problem with it being listed by vendor. The total amount that this vendor is receiving through the Muscogee County School District should have a couple more lines on there. X amount from grants, X amount from.
I will read this. It says, this request is supported by fiscal year 26 state budget signed by Governor Brian Kemp, which establishes a $19.6 million for student mental health services and subsequent approval of grant allocations by the Georgia State Board of Education on August the 20th, 2025.
That's what I was wanting you to elaborate on, sir.
So, yeah, it's at the top.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, yes. So my name is Kenya Gilmore, Director for Prevention and Intervention Practices. So like Mr. Knopf explained, this grant came out at the end of September. We were not aware that it was coming, and when we got it, they explained to us that we had to provide behavioral health services and mental health services to students with the grant. We got a total of around $420,000 to provide those services at our middle and high schools. So in January, we brought another vendor that's also going to be providing services under this grant, and This Works is the second vendor. Since we had the funding and we wanted to put some more services in place at Marshall Success Center to support some of our students, reduce recidivism, of course, and then some of our other schools that do not have the restorative practices and social emotional learning. So that's why we're trying to expand the services through This Works.
And kind of what were,
Hold on.
were the parameters of the grant about how it needed to be spent?
All of the services have to be direct services. So we have spent some of the funding toward providing some Tier 1 social emotional services through a online platform called Compass. And then we're going to do some direct services, small group counseling, individual counseling, and social skills building for students.
Does it support services for families or just the students?
Just students and direct services to students.
Do we have any idea if this money will continue next year?
What we've been told is that it's going to depend on the statewide usage of the funding that is being provided. So this is statewide, and it's being offered to all middle and high schools in every district. It's, again, if you don't use it, you lose it. So what we hope is that throughout the state, people will utilize the funding so that it will be available to us again in the following years.
Okay. And could it, I mean, I know it's hard to use grant money for positions within the district because it could go away, but is there any limitation on that, or could it be done more for,
Yes, so we could use the money to fund positions, but of course, when you fund positions, if the grant goes away, then we lose that and people would lose their jobs. But also, when we fund positions, we end up spending more for salaries as well as benefits.
thank you.
Any additional questions, board members? Okay. I am happy to see that they are providing mental health grants.
I hope it stays and continues.
Yes, absolutely.
And really expand to at least at the minimum fifth grade.
Yeah, we need it at elementary.
Or
too.
earlier,
Yeah.
but yeah, at least fifth grade.
Okay. Moving on to our sole source and volatile services, number 8, you will see there are 2 items. One is for fuel purchases, and that is attached. And number 2 is for new police vehicles, and that is attached. And Ms. Buckner, you have a question? Yes.
Yeah, I want, for these 2 new police vehicles, and then going back to, let me find it where it talks about, emergency money for emergency vehicle, oh, that's emergency vehicle equipment. Okay, my
Yes.
mind, and it says the department seeks approval of purchase of new police vehicles from Wade, the board approved of. Okay, so that doesn't have the new emergency vehicle equipment, and it says for new, we have equipment for new police, when we get a new police car, there are things, emergency stuff that we have to do for new cars? Like what?
So the cars typically don't come outfitted with the emergency equipment, so we have to go to an outfitter
like
and
police
have that added
emergency
later.
stuff.
Excuse me?
Okay, like police stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Police stuff.
And these. and
Like
these two
sirens,
vehicles-
like sirens and lights.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And some bumper
I'm
guards,
just thinking about
yes.
the car. You go, okay. I
And
got
these
it.
2 vehicles that are on the agenda tonight are to replace 2 that were involved in some traffic accidents, so.
All right. Any additional questions about the new police vehicles? All right, hearing none. Number 9, budget adjustments. We have one for McKinney-Vento funding. This is a budget adjustment. The original allocation was $82,136, and the adjustment is for $96,776. We're just adjusting the budget there. Number 2 is for the Woodall Center.
Is there, are we experiencing an increase in students in the
Yes.
McKinney-Vento?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Janice, you want to answer that?
Probably students. Which one of y'all? Both lights are on. Let me turn on yours too, Mr. Knopf.
One, I will say, I'll let you answer as far as whether or not we're increasing the numbers, but this funding is, we're receiving this funding as it's a carryover from last year's grant, that they're now giving us those funds back again.
For McKinney-Vento or
For
something else?
McKinney-Vento, yeah.
Okay, so is that the answer?
Mr. Knopf?
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. Number 2 is for the Woodall Center, and that's a budget adjustment as well. And the last one is GNET state funding, budget adjustment as well. Hearing no questions, there's one item under new budget, and this is for Oxbow Meadows. This is a budgetary impact of $4,930. Number 11 is our monthly financial statements. That is good. And number 12 are our donations. We want to thank the public and businesses for knowing that schools can't do it alone, so we appreciate your donations. All right, and that concludes the Financial Committee. I'll turn it back over to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. And so we will, we have 2 items or 1 item under information. turn it over to Dr. Lewis regarding the proclamation.
I think that was the proclamation I just read earlier, is that correct?
You read it?
Oh,
The military child?
oh, the military child, that's for next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Lewis?
Yes, several things we want to bring to everyone's attention. We have a regional spelling bee champion, Amia Singh from Veterans Middle School. She's regional and moves on to the state level.
Outstanding.
Hardaway girls basketball, the Lady Hawks move on to the state championship. It'll be played this Saturday in Macon at 11 o'clock, so best of luck to them.
Again.
Yeah. Again. Columbus High School became the state decathlon champions and will now move on to national competition in California this summer, so congratulations to them.
OCHS.
And finally, I'm pleased to announce that our own Mike Barden is the sole finalist for the superintendent position in Harris County. Congratulations, Mr. Barden.
Boo, boo, boo. Congratulations, Mr. Barden.
Remember, you applied for this.
All right, anyone else? Okay, next week we'll have our regular meeting, and then again on the 23rd, our extended meeting.
But we have another meeting next.
The 16th and the 23rd, right?
Correct.
16th and the 23rd, we shall meet again. I need well, we can just wave goodbye for an adjourn. We are now adjourned. Good night, everyone. Thank you. See you next week.